Ion.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Hell. I don't know. The podcast / YouTube channel / whatever you feel like making it today.
At first, I thought you were saying "Welcome to Hell," and I was like, "Whoa, okay, let's."
Oh, baby. This administration, maybe. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Yeah, so today you might have noticed that Nikki's not here. So it will be slightly less annoying today. We are...
I'm screaming.
Jordan and
Not
I
saying
are
it's
going...
screaming.
Well, maybe a lot less annoying. Jordan and Nikki's catching so many strays. To be fair,
So many.
I was just talking but I was just talking to Nikki, and I have been shading him all day because I came up with a wonderful idea that he doesn't want to do, but that's besides the point. Anyway, today we are going to be reviewing Scream 7.
Woo.
I know a lot of y'all might not have known this, but Jordan and I are very big horror fans. We love horror. We love the genre. We respect it. We think it's great. And I don't know about you, Jordan, but Scream is actually one of my favorite horror franchises.
It is. Same for me. Very much so.
Yeah.
That's why I was super excited about Scream 7 and to do it. So, but we'll get there in a sec.
We're going to get there. So let's go right on into it. I'm going to start off with a hot take.
Okay.
My hot take, and I'm going to be real with you, I feel like it's a universal take, so maybe it's not that hot. I think that Scream 7 is quite literally the worst entry in the franchise. I genuinely think it is the worst entry. Out of 7 films, and it don't go in order. Best to worst does not go from 1 to 7 for me. There are definitely, in between, really good films. Scream 7 is the worst film in the franchise, and for me, it's not even that close.
I would agree. It's an easy yes, I agree to that. I'll say I think too, because I'm going to partially give them, this is karma for, letting go of Jenna and I forget the other girl's name.
Melissa.
I think her name may be Melissa. Yeah, Melissa.
Melissa, yeah.
Yeah, because from what I read, like originally Scream 7 was supposed to follow their story and conclude their like storyline with the series, and I think then eventually they would have gotten back to Sydney. Either way, this just felt like a very like last minute, let's just like make some bullshit script up at the last minute, because I've never watched Scream and felt so empty after leaving it. I was like, this was just unnecessary. I was like, y'all could
so
just
unnecessary.
Literally just kept this movie. It's okay. Like,
yeah,
it was so uninspired in so many different ways. But go ahead.
No, I just like even more on the Sam and Tara of it all. It was just like Scream 5 and 6 were actually very good entries. And like in the horror genre, when you like start rebooting series and stuff, oftentimes those rebooted films are like kind of garbage. But this was actually a really successful reboot, in my opinion. They successfully kept Courtney and Neve in the story, but then transitioned the leads of the story to 2 very capable people who were able to drive the story. I like the freshness of it. I like how it evolved. And the end of Scream 6 really set up a really good place to go for Scream 7 if they had stayed with Melissa and Jenna. But this, you cannot tell me that they thought this is what Scream 7 was going to look like when they originally pitched this idea. Because this movie felt, and we're going to get to pros and cons, although that pros is going to be real short for me, but it felt like, and Kevin Williamson came back to direct this from what I understand. Like, he like is the original director of the Scream films and all that other stuff. Like, I don't know if he was signed on to do it before and then just like, I don't know what happened.
I'm not
but ain't
sure,
no way he said yes to this. Ain't no way he said yes to this script. Terrible. I feel like it's one of those things where it's like, I have had the reason why I'm so connected to the Scream franchise is because it's one of the first horror films I ever saw. I'm pretty sure for you it's probably one of the first horror films you ever saw.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
it definitely, like, for its time, it literally changed the way people were doing horror. And I think one of the reasons why it's been so successful over the years is because it continues to up the bar. Like, it continues to up the bar, and it continues to find, even if you don't think that it is like critically as good as any of the previous films, stylistically and intellectually, they find new ways to keep the story relevant. And I've always been so impressed with that. So to see the movie and see how lazy it was, and see how, like, this was also the very first time that I knew who the killer was, like,
Okay, Darrell.
immediately.
I literally, when as soon as the killer came on the screen, I kid you not, within like a minute or two of them talking, I said, "That's the killer.
Right,
That's the killer."
right,
I was like,
right.
I said, it's beyond obvious. It's also like, also too, the reasoning of why. I said, this is ridiculous. I said, this doesn't actually
Ridiculous.
even make any sense. I was like, this is actually very dumb. This is such a stretch. I said, and also too, let's just be. Are we saying spoilers in this? Are we saying who the killer is?
We're gonna say spoilers, but at this point, this is a spoiler. This is the spoiler part. So if you have not seen the movie and you want to see the movie for whatever reason,
Turn it
you
off.
should click off now, because after this point, it's gonna be spoilers.
It's gonna be spoilers. Thank you. So let me just say what automatically pissed me off. I was just like, so you want me to believe this lady was out here killing these people like this? She was
Right.
that tall. She was that strong. She was able to move dead bodies and place them on things. I said, I want y'all to be so fucking for real right now.
Oh, for real.
And again, I know it was two of them, but at the same time, I was like, one of them was her when they were doing the killing. So I was like, which one was she supposed to be? I was like, this is dumb. And then when they revealed who the second killer was, I was like, guys, really? I was like, this had to be the worst. Honestly, I think 7 is the worst killer reveal they've ever had. Like, literally the worst one.
And it's not close. It's not even close. The rest of the killer reveals throughout the series have always kind of made sense to me. It's like, even if I didn't, usually by the end of the film, I can kind of be like, oh, it's probably this person, but I don't know for sure. And when they explain why, it makes sense. So I'm like, all right, cool. This movie was literally like they had no idea. You know what? I feel like the reason they had no idea and why it was so messy is because the original plan was to have, I don't know if you read this, but the original plan was to have Sam be the killer from the Melissa. She was going to end up being the killer. Yeah, that was the original plan. That's why it ended the way it did it. They were building up to Sam eventually becoming Ghostface. And I thought,
okay, now see, that would have changed the game, and then see, that would have kept people truly engaged.
Yes.
That would have been a good one. Now that would have been truly tripped everybody up, because we would have never expected somebody that was once the good person in the movie to be the bad. So that would have been
exactly
way more interesting than whatever the fuck.
You could tell in that writing room they were sitting down and they were like, how do we come up with a killer? What is the motive? What do we do? What do we do? What do we do? And whoever came up with it, like, I ain't want to bash writers because, I know y'all got, it's hard out here for a writer, but maybe y'all was just dealing with what y'all had. Maybe I was just dealing with what you had. I don't want to say nothing else. Before we get too much into that, though, I do want to do like a little setup just so that everyone, most people here would have already seen it. And if you haven't, you don't care, but just so we do. So the setting, just so everybody knows, this is after Scream 6. We're no longer in New York City. We're in, Nowheresville, America.
Yeah, because they didn't return back to
Woodsboro.
They didn't return back to Woodsboro. They were in like some other random ass town, right?
Where Sydney's living.
I actually loved it. She's living as a coffee shop owner. I was like,
I said, that's random. Okay.
I was like, how do we pivot to this? I was just like, sure. Okay.
You know what? I said, I'm going to go with it. I'll go with it. I mean, she got a real nice house to own a coffee shop, but
That's
okay.
listen, because I said the house, the coffee shop, and the husband's a cop. I said interesting. Okay,
I was like, all
sure.
right. But yeah, so we have Sydney. The returning characters are Sydney, obviously, and then Gail, who honestly at this point,
Why? Like she also too. Gail came in and she came on out of that movie. I said, why was she even in this movie?
she serves zero purpose, and I love her character for what it's
Me
worth.
too.
I
Me
love
too.
Gail.
But me too. But this time she didn't even have like her only interaction with Ghostface was running him over. We're running over the
Literally running him over. Yes, I was like, so that's gonna be it. She wasn't even there in the pinnacle of the movie. I was like,
she came towards the beginning. She came at the end, and that was it. I was like,
I said,
okay.
I don't know if Courtney was
got
busy.
paid, and it got paid tons of money. By the way,
Oh,
she
of
got
course
paid
she
tons
did.
of money for that.
Of course she did. I guarantee you, Courtney Cox, is that her name? Courtney Cox or Courtney Arquette, whatever. I guarantee you, she was the second highest paid person on that film set. She absolutely was. She was. And honestly, they could have saved that money. But okay. Yeah. So they bring back Gail.
They're in that random town. Gail's back. What else?
The twins are back.
The twins are back.
Which I like them. I think I wanted them to have more screen time.
I like them too, but I also was cracking up that I said, so now they pivoted to being both working as journalists. Is
right.
That what they're supposed to be?
Right, like Gail's lackey. So it's so weird.
It's like
I was like,
sure.
y'all could think of no other way to bring these twins back to this story than to just randomly be working with Gail. Okay, None of them have showed any interest in doing this in journalism, but okay.
None. Not one time in part 6 did they ever show any interest of that. That's why I was like, okay, sure. Yeah. Whatever. Fine.
I was like, okay. So those are the returning characters, the new characters. Obviously the major one is her daughter, which if I'll go to what worked in a second, but her daughter's friends who we don't even need to remember their names because they were not necessary. They weren't important to the plot. I know that McKenna Grace was one of them, but she died first. So
I was like, okay. I said, yeah. She died very quickly.
Although I will say, and I guess I'm going to do a work and what didn't work section later, but I did like, now the death, we'll talk about that.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
So it's, the new characters are her daughter, her daughter's friends, her daughter's boyfriend, and her husband, who, okay, he was a husband. That's it.
Serves no purpose. Served zero purpose.
No real purpose.
Zero.
What do you think this movie was trying to do?
I think it was trying to build off a lot of nostalgia. I realized like through a lot of the moments in the movie, they were trying to like going back to different elements of Stab, going back to these like little innuendos about like the previous killers, even like the don't get me started on the AI. I said the AI killers, y'all, the previous killers are all in AI. I said, you know what? Stop this now.
Stop it.
This is ridiculous.
Stop
but
it.
I think the movie was trying to play off nostalgia using familiar things that we love from other Screams. Even to because each Scream, they always are trying to tie in like other horror movies as to like what the current movie is doing and use like different like movies and stuff like that. So this one was all about like, oh yeah, we're trying to bring nostalgia back. This is all about nostalgia. And I was like, and I just felt like it was lazy. And I was like, this was an easy thing for you to do. Of course, you're going to resort to nostalgia because nostalgia is easy. It's easy to try to like use stuff that's already worked. But again, what made Scream so great is that you guys kept taking it up a notch and surprising it. This time, this felt very just like safe. Even just like some of the lines in the movie were very like cornball, just like, I'm Sidney fucking Prescott. It's like, okay.
And she said,
all right.
I'm Sidney fucking Prescott's daughter. Okay, bitch. Shut the fuck up. Shut up.
I was like, they literally would never say, like, that actually no one would
Yeah.
ever say that. They just wouldn't
Yeah.
do that. So it was just like it became a bit of a cornball fest when it came to like dialogue and like too much harping on nostalgia, where I was like, let's keep with the fresh take. You know what I mean? Like that's what I liked about 5 and 6 was like it was like a refreshing reinvention of the movie while still keeping some of the same elements of it. This one just felt like a very just lazy. Here you go. Here's Scream.
Yeah.
We know you're gonna go see it because
we know
Scream.
you go see it. Yeah.
So here it is.
I agree. I definitely think I think exactly what you said. I think that this film was it was just trying to be nostalgic because they ran out of ideas because they had to abandon their original idea. So they said, boom, nostalgia. And that was so clear to me the moment we found out that her daughter's name was Tatum. I was like, okay, so that's what this is, which I think, by the way, was a good choice. But I was like okay,
I like the choice.
But everything after that, I was like, oh, this is not a movie for people new to the franchise. This is a movie for people who already know the franchise, who like it, who are going to see the film regardless of if it's good or not. Ain't no way. It's the lowest rated film from this franchise on Rotten Tomatoes, even more than Scream 3. So it's not good. So anyway, I know we talked a lot about what we didn't like, and there's actually a section for what we didn't like, so I feel like that's going to be a pretty good section. But I do want to talk about what did work, though, because there were some things that I liked.
Yeah.
The first thing I liked was I did actually think that the film being the protagonist of the film being split between Sydney and her daughter, I thought that was a good idea. I genuinely enjoyed the fact that her daughter was a protagonist. It seems like a natural progression because I kind of wish her daughter would have been the main protagonist and not Sydney. Because it's like,
I agree.
We've seen you do this for 5 movies. We don't need Sydney as the protagonist anymore. It would have been a good handing of the baton if it had been her daughter. But I do think it was a good idea to revert to her daughter as one of the leads. And also to make her Tatum. That was that's a really good callback, especially when they explain why she named her Tatum. I like it.
Yeah, no, 100%. I agree with you. I definitely I love the daughter aspect. I like that they use that. I just wish she was truly the main focus because I'm we've literally seen Sydney do everything that she did in that movie 5 times already or more. So it's
yes,
it's the same stuff. I would have liked her taking a little bit more of a backseat and have the other. And also too, they kind of had her a little bit in parts doing things that just was this is dumb. Why would you do this? But otherwise, I did like her character, and I liked what she what she brought to the table. I think she's a good contender to keep going. I just think they need to figure out a better script for her so she could do more. Because I feel like she didn't. I feel like it was also limited. But again, that's going back to the bad. But what also was good, what I also did I did feel like they upped it in the sense of the kills. So I do feel like the kill scenes.
Yes.
So I enjoyed the kill scenes. The kill scenes were having the girl her swinging. I love that.
That was good.
And then just putting his knife up and then just her whole guts going out. I said, okay, all right, okay. I was Scream, because Scream in the past earlier they didn't really show too much gore. It wasn't
they
the
just stabbed,
movie. They just kind of stabbed and it just kind of kept going. Now it's get more okay, this is brutal killings and things like that. But I feel like the kill scenes were good. I feel like the action in the kill scenes had me engaged. I will say that, and I feel like that part was good. So I did enjoy.
I agree. That. I even thought my favorite kill obviously was Swinging Girl. I love that kill. I thought that was very smart. I thought it was inventive. I also enjoyed. This was also my least favorite opening sequence. I thought that was weird because it didn't connect at all back to the actual story. So the opening sequence was weird. But
nothing.
I did enjoy. Right, I thought that was weird that it didn't connect. Usually they connect, right, in some way to what's going on in the story. But it had nothing to do with the story. I don't even know why that was there. But I did like in the opening sequence, when she was swinging on the chandelier and she fell and he just put the knife up and it like I kind of like that.
Yes.
I thought I was like, okay, that's kind of cute.
Yeah.
And then I also like when they were in the bar and homeboy got killed and they picked him up and put him on the beer spout thing, and they impaled his head on the beer spout thing, and then his mouth started like shooting the beer. I thought that was fun.
Yeah, I thought that was good. I was like, this is creative. This is good. And I also felt like even like going back to the opening scene, I actually think they should have used that for Sydney and her daughter. I think that would have been a more interesting scene to put them in that space, like almost like the killer wanted them to come back there, whatever the case may be, blah, blah, blah. And I think seeing them in that space would have been more interesting if they wanted to do the whole nostalgia thing. But I'm like, bringing nostalgia with two random people that had nothing to do with the story was like, okay.
Yes.
Like those two people were not connected to anybody in that movie. So I was like, what was the point of that?
I don't even know if they mentioned that happening in the movie.
I don't even know if that was the same killer. I was like, was that just
right? I was like, what? Yeah. I mean, I will also say, and maybe it is also a part of the kills, but I also like I kind of didn't hate the chase sequences, and what I mean was specifically, I enjoyed the chase sequence when Sydney and Tatum were in the wall of the house.
Love that.
And
love that.
I love that. I thought that was so creative. I was like, because that's terrifying. That's genuinely terrifying.
That is terrifying. And again, because you don't know at what moment you could have gotten stabbed. So for me, that part really had me engaged, because I was like, oh my God. Like I thought, I was like, I don't know, because that could have went left. Now, if they would have used two non-main characters, somebody would have died in that room for sure.
Yes, of course. And they should have, to be honest. Like, because how cool would it have been? Let me say how cool. How cool would it have been for one of them to die, and then we see an exterior shot of Ghostface holding up the knife, and then you see blood start to like expand from the wall.
Yes.
Like that would have been kind of a cool shot. So I do think that was an opportunity wasted, but I like that sequence overall. So I'm not mad at it. I think that is probably the majority of what I liked about. Do you have anything else you liked about it?
I was really trying to pull out of my hat. I was like, was there anything else that I enjoyed? I don't think so. I think that was it. I think it was fight scenes, a little bit of nostalgic moments, and the kill, like not fight scenes, the chase and the kills. And yeah, the cinematography was decent.
Yeah, too. It was decent. It was, I mean, I will say the cinematography was decent, but
color a bit.
I think that's what it is. I thought the cinematography was fine, but I love the cinematography of 6. I actually thought when they moved it to New York, that cinematography changed how I even viewed the franchise. So it's hard for me to say yes to this for Scream 7, because it was good, but it still felt like a step back from Scream 6.
It definitely was, and it felt dull. It felt very dull.
Yeah.
Everything about this movie just felt dull.
Yeah.
So, and that all the way down to the writing. Like, I'm like, usually the writing of Scream is a lot better than this. But I was like,
to me, surprisingly, the biggest thing that did not work for me was the writing. Like, it was like, which is so strange, because like you said, Scream is usually really smart about that. And that's how you know this was put together in the last minute, because the moment Anna Camp walked into that coffee shop, the moment they started talking, the moment I realized she had a kid that was the same age as Sydney, the way the camera caught her, then she showed up one more time in the film. That was it. I said, baby, I hope I'm wrong, but I think she's the killer. I was like, I literally leaned over to my friend and I was like, I hope I'm wrong, but I think she's the killer. And I was like, it was so obvious. And I think even just like, I hate exposition. I hate when you go, when you're like, yeah, I have a 15-year-old. Yeah, he's going off to UCLA next week, even though he's really smart, but we just went through a divorce with his dad. So I hate that. It feels like you are being lazy about telling the story. And there was so much of that. There was well, I know that your father just got laid off, and I know that his father was abusive. I hated that.
And
I hated that exposition.
I hate that because like no one talks like that. No one talks
No one talks like that.
You don't talk to people that you talk to all the time like that. That doesn't even make sense. That's why I'm like, this is so dumb. I hate when people stop over explaining stuff. And again, it's like, especially for such shit that for characters that don't even matter.
Like, exactly. For characters that don't even matter. Right. So I hated that. I also hated what you touched on earlier. Like, I get that this was their way of trying to maintain relevance, but the whole AI of it all was a colossal fail. It was a fucking fail. One, because the main thing, I guess that was their way of bringing back Matthew Lillard, who we all knew was fucking dead. So him possibly being alive should not have been a subplot. But I think they did that because they were trying to like stay relevant with current times, but that goes completely against the entire premise of what Scream is about. The whole idea is that anyone could be the killer. By showing us him, an AI version of him, it almost told me, oh, it's definitely not him. You know what I'm saying? Like, even if you're trying to sell, yeah, it's like if you're trying to sell,
it took the whole element. It took the whole element away of the mystery of who the person is and stuff. Even and again, we already figured out who it was, but at the same time, I was like, at least try to trip me up. But y'all doing this AI thing, I said, this is giving me somebody's mom hired somebody's friend to do the computer work for this. Like, this just gives me that. It's so obvious. I was like, come on,
it made it even worse because, like, to me, it made it even worse because to try to cover up for who may be possibilities, they kept trying to make us think it might be the boyfriend, and I felt like it was obvious it wasn't the boyfriend. It's been the boyfriend 3 times now. 3 times. We know it's not going to be the boyfriend.
And please, can we just talk about really quick, what was the point of having him have that laptop in his car doing the AI thing, and he didn't do anything anyway? So why was he doing that? Why? What was
they literally never explained that.
This made no sense. I said, you guys literally just added this in to try to trick us. But I said, but that's not realistic to like what would happen. I'm like, you can't put that in just for like a movie because again, why would that actually happen in real life? If he didn't actually have any connection to it, why would he just have a laptop? And why would he have it up on that particular screen at that moment in time at night? Like, I was like, guys, come on, y'all. Like, who was thinking of this?
I even would have, honestly, I went into this film very forgiving. Like, I would have been forgiving of it if they had explained, if they gave, honestly, any reason would have been solid for me if they could come up with a reason for why he had done that. But they just threw that shit in there and then never addressed it again.
And killed him. So we said, and we just don't even know. I said, okay. And again, the characters outside of the main characters were just like lifeless people that had usually when Neve had other characters like her friends or whatever in the movies, they still had some relevancy to the movie. Like you had some
Tatum is a really good example of that. Like, she was a side character who died, but we knew everything about her character. She had an arc. We knew exactly who she was supposed to be. These people might as well have been any fucking body.
I can, like you said, I cannot tell you one person's name in that movie. I have no idea.
And I just saw
it. Me too. And I don't think they even know their names. I just was like, who are these people? The boyfriend had everybody was just lifeless characters of just, I said, these are all just filling up spaces, filling up pages and spaces. That's all it is.
I agree. I completely agree. I was just like, I think that, you know, a lot of criticism for the film that I've seen has said that the franchise is experiencing franchise fatigue and that people are getting tired of the Scream formula. I actually disagree with that. I'm not tired of the formula, and I don't think that the series has to be fatigued. I think this specific film was in poor taste. I think that they should have fucking begged Melissa Barrera and Jenna Ortega to come back to this fucking franchise after they fucked up so bad.
Right.
Or they could have... I don't know if they, very likely, and I might be wrong, but it seems like very likely they had a release window set and they had to stick to that release window. So they had to just rework the entire film once that happened. And I just think maybe if they gave it a little bit more time, if they had like really, I don't know what they could have done, but I hate
It
this.
feels rushed. It felt
Yeah.
rushed.
And I don't necessarily want this to be the last Scream film because that would be sad. Like,
I was going to ask the question. I'm like, do you know if this was supposed to be the last one? Did they say like talks is like doing another?
I think I had read somewhere that there was supposed to be 9 films total, but
Okay.
I think that this was supposed to be the last of Sam and Tara's films. So
Yeah,
like
what now that I know was supposed to be, but this is not giving me good. Again, maybe I'll just say because of the controversy and everything that was happening that they just didn't have enough time to get this the right way. But I will say if they are going to continue this, they need to bring way better writing, a way better, well thought out storyline of how this is going to make sense. Because I'm assuming now we're going to continue on with the daughter. Make her more of the main character, less Sydney. I love Sydney. We all love her, but what else can she really do? Unless y'all going to give her a twist of some kind of interesting thing to do with her. Otherwise, make the story the forefront with the daughter and keep it going with something else. But I don't know.
I agree. I mean, honestly, like, and I think I'm in the minority here because I've been seeing people in communities being like, Neve Campbell is Scream, which I completely disagree with because she was in Scream 5, but she was a very small part of it. And she wasn't even in Scream 6. And both of them were some of my favorite entries. So I don't think Neve Campbell is a Scream franchise. In fact, I think her involvement is starting to make I don't think that there's anywhere else for her to go. I think that if you're going to keep making these movies,
her character's
her character's done. Her character's done. Love her, love Neve, love Sydney,
and I love what she did I love what she brought for the movies. But I think it's time we just move on to the next.
Let it go.
So actually,
I agree.
And again, I would have been fine with just all new characters. I don't think we even need to bring any old characters back. I think let's just start. Let's finish off on a fresh note.
Yes, I would have been perfectly fine with a whole new story, not having anything to do with anybody we've already seen before. I would have been fine with that. But alas, we got Scream 7. And so wrapping up, I just want to ask, because I'm genuinely curious about this, what is your franchise ranking? Like if you had to rank all of them from worst to best.
Okay. Do I start with the worst?
The worst, yeah.
The worst, number 7.
Yes.
Then I think I would do. It's between 4 and 3 here, so I'm gonna say. I'll say 4, then I'll say 3, and then. I'm gonna do 6, 5, and 1, 2.
Oh, you like Scream 2 the best?
It's one of my favorite ones. I think because for some reason I had it's yeah, it's like weird. Here's the thing. I like the first one. I love the first one. But I know what I like the most about the first one, and it's the opening scene. But not as the film as the whole.
Yeah,
as the film as the whole, I think I like 2 as the film as the whole, which is why that's the only reason why that goes above 1. That's the only reason why, though. But that would be mine.
That's a good ranking.
I think that's it.
That's a good ranking. Yeah. Mine's kind of similar. Our eras are the same, but the order is a little bit different. Scream 7 is definitely the worst. Not even close.
Yes.
After that, I would say Scream 3, just because the whole meta of them making the film and then the characters being like, I thought that was way too fucking left field. I still enjoyed it though.
It was way
That's the thing. I enjoyed it.
I like Scream 3. I enjoyed Scream 3, but no. It was just...
And it says a lot about how I feel about the franchise that I'm ranking it number 6, but I did like the movie. It just was wild to me. I was like, this is not realistic and fucking weird. And then Scream 4. I thought Scream 4 was good too, but it felt like a weird bridge between eras. I just was like, the main reason I like Scream 4 is because I love Hayden Panettiere's character in that movie.
Me too.
And I was so glad they brought her back in Scream 6. I was like, love her. So 7, 3, 4. And then I would say Scream, probably, I'm going to say 5. I really liked when they went to New York. I thought it was it was the first time that they really changed the scenery, and a lot of that movie felt like a whole new franchise, and I really liked it. I didn't enjoy it.
The only reason why I didn't put it above that one was the killers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I will say I enjoy the Killers Scream 5 more than Scream 6.
Because the family of 3, I said, y'all.
That was a bit much. It still was better than the Killer Scream 7, but it was a bit much.
But I also think that 6 is a better movie than 5, though. If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I just think that's a better killer. But yeah,
I will also say I was convinced the killer of Scream 6 was Kirby. I was convinced she was a killer. I was like, I know it's gonna be her.
Actually kind of wanted it to be Kirby, though. I'm not gonna lie.
I did. I'm not gonna lie. I was a little.
I think that would have been better. I think people would have liked it better if she would have been the killer.
Yeah. My belief is that they wanted to potentially have more opportunities for her to come back. Maybe, but anyway, 6, 5, 6, whatever I said, and then and then 2-1. I love Scream 2. I think it's great. First of all, Jada Pinkett in that opening scene. That's actually my favorite opening sequence.
That's my favorite. It pisses me off every time, though, because I'm just like, y'all really just let this girl...
They let this girl get murdered in a theater with hundreds of people there. And the way she acted that shit out when she's like, all the thing, love that. I love that sequence. So good.
I love that they used Jada Pinkett. Like, I thought that was our rare moment that we got a black,
But then we also had her friend, her sidekick. I shouldn't say sidekick, but like her best friend was my wife. Is my wife? Elise Neal. Elise Neal from what's their show?
From the Hughleys.
The Hughleys. Yes. Loved her in that. Although I was a bit sad she died, which I knew she would.
Me too. I actually thought she was going to make it. I thought she was going to make it, but oh well.
So, but yeah, Scream. The first Scream is always like, that's just my heart. That's my it's my favorite entry in the franchise. I think to this day, Tatum's death is my favorite death in the franchise. Like, this bitch really tried to get her whole body through a doggy door in the garage, and that's crazy. I'm just saying, like, what?
Girl, what are you doing?
Baby, you can't fit through that. Like, the fact that is what you thought was going to get you to safety is crazy.
She was trying anything, okay?
You know what? More power to Tatum. And with that, I say this was our review for Scream 7. You got anything else you want to chat about this movie?
That is all. That's listen, we gave Scream 7 enough. 38 minutes of our time is enough that it could have ever gotten. All I gotta say to Scream, if you do return Scream, do better. Because 7 was
better. Do better. Coming from 2 fans of the franchise. We are actual fans of the franchise.
Big fans. Big, huge fans. I love Scream. Scream's one of my all-time favorites. So, yeah. Yes. Oh, Ray, really quick before you go, I wanted to ask you, speaking of reboots, did you like and did you see I Know What You Did Last Summer reboot?
I did.
Did you like it?
No, but I did actually. No. Here's the thing. I will say, yes and no, actually. I thought it was a terrible film, but I also think I Know What You Did Last Summer is a terrible horror film. But I like it because it's entertaining. And that movie, I was like, this shit is fucking ridiculous. It is so bad, but I actually enjoyed the experience of watching it. So I think it was bad. I actively think it was bad, but I liked watching it. I hated the killer though.
Oh, it was dumb. terrible, stupid movie. The only thing I like out of that franchise is I Still Know What You Did Last Summer, and that is it. Otherwise,
Yes, I love
no.
that one. Yeah,
But otherwise, no.
yeah.
But I was just curious because I was like, that when I saw that remake, I was like, okay, I think we can. This doesn't need to be like Scream. Don't keep redoing these.
Yes,
but this was a fun experience. This was a fun experience for what it was.
I was like, and then they tried to do that little. You saw the mid credits scene when they brought Brandy back.
Yes, with
Brandy.
Tried to
like. I was like, honestly, and here's the thing. I'm gonna be real. Do we need another one? We don't. But if y'all bring Brandy back, I'm gonna watch it.
I will be there. I will.
I'm gonna watch it. I'll watch it. Maybe we'll review it on this podcast. All right, y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for looking at us. And we will see y'all next time. Remember to like and subscribe. It's free $99. Love y'all.
Yes. Bye. Love you guys.